Good afternoon students, welcome to online crash course maths class. So in today's class I will be discussing about first PU topic limits. So before going for the objective questions, let us understand LH rule or L Hospital's rule. So here the rule is LH rule. So based on this rule we will be solving some of the objective questions. So the rule says if limit x tends to a, f of x by g of x is either 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. These are indeterminate forms that we have already studied in our first PUC maths. Then limit x tends to a, f of x by g of x is equals to limit x tends to a, f dash of x by g dash of x. So here we take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator, and this process continues till we get the correct answer. So this is equals to limit x tends to a, f double dash of x by g double dash of x, and this process continues till we get the correct answer. So this is the LH rule. If limit x tends to a, f of x by g of x is either 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, then this can be written in this form. Take the derivative of the numerator by the derivative of the denominator and apply the limit. If you get the indeterminate form once again, so again we will have to take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator, and this process continues until we get the correct answer. So with the help of this rule, I will be solving some of the objective questions now. Well, we will take up the questions now. Limit x tends to 0, square root of 1 plus x cube minus square root of 1 minus x cube divided by x cube. This is equals to, and the four options are: option 1 it is 1, then option 2 it is minus 1, then option 3 it is 2, then option 4 it is 1 by 2. So here we can solve this problem by two methods. One is going for rationalization and other one is by making use of LH rule. So for this problem I will be making use of the rationalization. Let us solve the given limit. So here limit x tends to 0, square root of 1 plus x cube minus square root of 1 minus x cube divided by x cube. So now multiply and divide by the opposite sign of the numerator. So I am multiplying and dividing by square root of 1 plus x cube. So here it is minus sign. Now we have to take plus sign, plus square root of 1 minus x cube divided by square root, same term, 1 plus x cube plus square root of 1 minus x cube. So now observe the numerator. It is in the form of a minus b into a plus b. It is a square minus b square. So that I will be writing it directly now. Limit x tends to 0. So a square minus b square. So a square means square root of 1 plus x cube the whole square. Square and root get cancels. We have only 1 plus x cube. This is a square. Minus b square. Minus b square means this term. Square and root get cancels. We have 1 minus x cube. And here you will be having the minus sign. That minus sign will be multiplied to the next two terms. So minus 1 plus x cube divided by, write this term as it is now, x cube into the bracket 1 plus x cube square root of 1 plus x cube plus square root of 1 minus x cube. So now here plus 1 minus 1 get cancels x cube plus x cube will be 2x cube, and x cube get cancelled, so we have 2 in the numerator. So I write 2 in the numerator after applying the limit, divided by, now apply the limit to the denominator now. So x tends to 0 means replace x by 0. So square root of 1 it will be 1, plus square root of 1 it will be again 1. 1 plus 1 it will be 2. So it will be 2. So 2 get cancels, the answer is 1. So here these two get cancels. Option 1 is the correct answer. Well, the next question it is limit x tends to 2, x to the power 2 minus 2 raised to 2 divided by x minus 2. Again we can solve this by two methods. One is by making use of the standard result, other method will be by applying LH rule. So here we have the standard result, limit x tends to a, x to the power n minus a to the power n divided by x minus a. This is equals to n into a to the power n minus 1, where a is greater than 0 and n is any real number. Let us apply this standard result here. So n into n means it is the root 2. This is equals to root 2 into a. What is a here? It is 2. To the power n minus 1, that is root 2 minus 1. Here root 2 can be written as 2 raised to 1 by 2. Then into 2 raised to root 2 minus 1. So now a raised to m into a raised to n will be a to the power m plus n. So what do we have now? 2 raised to root 2, 1 by 2 minus 1 will be minus 1 by 2. So the answer is 2 to the power root 2 minus 1 by 2. Option 3 is the correct answer. Note down this and then I will take up the next question. Well, the next question it is limit theta tends to 0, 1 minus cos m theta divided by 1 minus cos n theta. Limit 1 minus cos m theta divided by 1 minus cos n theta. This is equals to, and the four options are option 1 m by n, option 2 it is minus m square by n square, then option 3 it will be m square by n square, then option 4 it is minus m by n. So let us solve the given limit. Now limit theta tends to 0, 1 minus cos m theta. 1 minus cos theta is nothing but 2 sin square theta by 2. So here in place of theta we have m theta. It can be written as 2 sin square m theta by 2, then divided by 2 sin square n theta by 2. 2 sin square m theta by 2 whole divided by 2 sin square n theta by 2. So these two get cancels now, 2 and 2 get cancels. Now in order to apply the Sandwich theorem, we need to have the angle in the denominator. So what is the Sandwich theorem here? Limit x tends to 0 sin x by x, limit x tends to 0 sin x by x, it is 1, where x is in radian, x is the angle which is there in the radian. So now we will have to make use of this standard result. So if it is x here in the denominator also we should have x. So now we need to make the adjustment. This is equals to limit theta tends to 0, sin square m theta by 2, sin square m theta by 2. So here we have sin x, but here it is sin square. That means we should have square of the angle now. M theta by 2 is the angle. We need to have square of this angle in the denominator. So that means we should have m square theta square by 4 in the denominator. I am dividing here. That means we will have to multiply m square theta square by 4. So this is an adjustment. To apply the Sandwich theorem, we are multiplying and dividing by m square theta square by 4 because we have this sin square term here. then divided by the other term, that is sine square n theta by 2, so whole divided by n square theta square by 4, and we have to multiply n square theta square by 4. So now after applying the limit, these two becomes 1. So this becomes 1 and the denominator this becomes 1. So now 4 and 4 get cancels, theta square get cancels. What is the term that is left out now? It is m square by n square. So that will be the answer. Option 3 is the correct. Well, the next question, it is fourth one. The given limit is limit extends to 0 cos ax minus cos bx divided by x square. So here we are actually going to apply the L'Hospital's rule. Take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator. Why we are going for LH rule? See here, apply the limit now. Cos 0, x 0 means cos 0 it is 1, again cos 0 it is 1, 1 minus 1 it will be 0, and the denominator is also 0. We are getting 0 by 0 form. 0 by 0 form means it is indeterminate form. Whenever we get the indeterminate form, let us apply the LH rule. So applying LH rule, apply LH rule. LH rule, limit x tends to 0. Now derivative of the numerator, derivative of cos ax will be minus a sin ax, then minus derivative of cos bx will be minus b sin bx, minus into minus it is plus b sin bx divided by derivative of x square, it will be 2x. Now you apply the limit and check whether we are getting indeterminate form or not. X tends to 0 means we get sin 0, again here sin 0, 0 plus 0 it is 0, denominator is also 0 now. So even after applying the LH rule, we are still getting indeterminate form. That means once again we have to apply the LH rule. So again applying LH rule, limit x tends to 0, limit x tends to 0. So take the derivative of this now. What do we have? Minus a square cos ax, minus a square cos ax, plus derivative of this becomes b square cos bx divided by derivative of 2x will be 2. Now apply the limit and check. Now apply the limit now. X tends to 0 means cos 0, both the sides we get, in the numerator we get cos 0. So minus a square into 1 plus b square into 1 divided by 2. So after applying the limit, what do we have? Minus a square plus b square divided by 2. Minus a square plus b square is nothing but b square minus a square by 2. That means option 3 is the correct answer. Note down this and then I will take up the next question. Well, let us take up the next question. Question number 5. Question number 5. Limit x tends to pi by 6, 3 sin x minus root 3 cos x divided by 6x minus pi. And the four options are root 3, then the option 2, it is 1 by root 3. Then the option 3, it is minus root 3. Then the option 4, it is minus 1 by root 3. Now, so again we are going to make use of LH rule here. Apply the limit directly. So we have the angle x tends to pi by 6, that means 30 degree. So 3 sin pi by 6 minus root 3 cos pi by 6 divided by 6x minus pi. Replace x by pi by 6 now. 6 and 6 get cancelled. Pi minus pi, it will be 0. The numerator is also 0 and the denominator is also 0, means it is indeterminate form. In this case, we have to make use of LH rule. So applying LH rule, apply LH rule. So what do we have? Limit x tends to pi by 6. limit x tends to pi by 6. Now I'll be taking the derivative of the numerator. 3 is a constant, write it as it is. Derivative of sine will be cos, then minus root 3 is a constant, write it as it is. Derivative of cos x will be sin x. So minus sin x, we get minus into minus plus sin x divided by derivative of this will be, so it is 6. Now apply the limit and check. So here 3, we get cos pi by 6 here, that means cos 30 degree, it will be root 3 by 2 into root 3 by 2 plus root 3. So here we get sin 30 degree, that means it is 1 by 2, that means root 3 by 2 whole divided by 6. So simplify this now, this is equals to, so you have the same denominator, means numerators will be added up now. 3 root 3 plus root 3 will be 4 root 3 divided by 2 and whole divided by 6. These two will be multiplied now, we get 12. Now 4 ones are 4 threes are. We have 3 in the denominator now. This 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3. Root 3 into root 3. So here these two get cancels. We have the answer as 1 by root 3. So check the options now. Option 2 is the correct answer. Note down this and then we'll take up the next question. Question number 6. Well, question number 6. Limit x tends to infinity. Limit x tends to infinity. 5 to the power x, then into sine a by 5 to the power x. And the 4 options are: option 1 it is 0, option 2 it is 5, option 3 it will be log 5, option 4 it is a, option 4 it is small a. So let us simplify this. Now this can be written as, this is equals to limit x tends to infinity. So this 5 to the power x, if we take it to the denominator, it becomes 1 divided by 5 to the power x. Sine a by 5 to the power x, then divided by 1 by 5 to the power x. Now if we take it to the numerator, so we get back the previous term. Now what I will do is, I will multiply and divide by a. So I will be multiplying by a and here I will be dividing by a. A and a get cancels, we get back the previous term. Now the angles are same. So we can apply the sandwich theorem. Before that I will be going for the substitution. Put a by 5 to the power x is equals to y. Put a by 5 raised to x equal to y or z, any variable. Now whenever you are going for the substitution, the limit will also change. As x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. X tends to infinity means we get 5 to the power infinity. 5 square will be 25, 5 cube will be 125, 5 raised to 4 will be 625. Now tell me 5 to the power 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh something, it will be a huge number, it will be a bigger number. So 5 raised to infinity, it is approaching infinity, the biggest number. So a by infinity will be 0. So that is why y equal to 0. As x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. So rewrite the limit now. Limit y tends to 0. Now sine, what is the substitution here? This is nothing but y. Sine y by y, sine y by y, and I will write this a as it is. It is a. Now apply the limit for the first term to the second term. After applying the limit, this becomes 1. It is the sandwich theorem. So 1 into limit of a constant, it is a constant. We get a. 1 into a, it will be a. So option 4 is the correct answer. Option 4 is the correct answer. Note down this, then we'll go for the next question. Well, write the next question now. Limit x tends to infinity. Limit x tends to infinity. 3x square plus 5x plus 2 divided by 2x square minus 3x plus 1 minus 3x plus 1, and the four options are: option 1 it is 2 by 3, option 2 it is 3 by 2, option 3 it is 3, option 4 it is 1 by 2. So let us simplify this now. So here observe the limit, it is x tends to infinity. Whenever we get x tends to infinity and we have the rational function like this, we should have x term in the denominator, so that 1 by infinity becomes 0. So that is how we need to make the adjustment. So now this is equals to limit x tends to infinity. I will take x square common in the numerator as well as in the denominator now. X square. So what do we have? 3 plus 5 by x plus 2 by x square can be written as 2 by x into 1 by x. Then divided by. Now take x square common again. What do we have? 2 minus 3 by x plus 1 by x square can be written as 1 by x into 1 by x. So now x square and x square get cancels. Apply the limit now. Replace x by infinity now. 5 by infinity it will be 0 plus 2 by infinity it is 0, 1 by infinity it is again 0, 0 into 0 it is 0, divided by, so 2 I will be writing it as it is, 3 by infinity it is 0 plus again 0. So overall the answer is 3 by 2. So check the options now. Option 2 is the correct answer. So option 2 is the correct answer. Note down this, then we will take up the next one. Well, question number 8. Limit x tends to infinity. X divided by square root of ax square plus b, then minus square root of cx square plus b, which is equals to, and the four options are: option A it is 1 divided by root a plus root c, then option 2 1 divided by square root of c minus square root of a, then the option 3 1 divided by square root of a minus square root of c, then the option 4 it is 1 by a minus c. So let us solve this now. So observe the numerator and the denominator here and the limit. What is the limit which is given? X tends to infinity. X tends to infinity means, so we should have 1 by x or b by x or a by x term, so that we get a by infinity or b by infinity, that will be 0. So that is how we need to make the adjustment. So I will write the numerator as it is, limit x tends to infinity. So write the numerator as it is, x as it is, divided by. So here in these two terms I will be taking x square common. In this you take x square common and take that x square outside the square root, it becomes x. So I am writing x. Then square root of a plus b by x square. A plus b by x square. Then minus. Again in this you take x square common and take that x square outside the square root, it becomes x. Then square root of c plus b by x square. Now in the denominator we have x common. Take x common and x get cancels. Now apply the limit. 1 divided by square root of a plus b by x square can be written as b by x into 1 by x. So after applying the limit we get 0. b by infinity will be 0. Then minus square root of c plus again b by infinity it is 0. So overall what is the answer now? 1 divided by square root of a minus square root of c. 1 divided by square root of a minus square root of c. Option 3 is the correct answer. Note down this, then we'll take up the next question. That is question number 9. Well, the next question it is question number 9. Limit n tends to infinity, n plus 2 factorial plus n plus 1 factorial divided by n plus 2 factorial minus n plus 1 factorial. Minus n plus 1 factorial, and the four options are option 1 it is 1, option 2 it is minus 1, option 3 it is 2, option 4 it is minus 2. So let us evaluate this now. This is equals to limit n tends to infinity. So we can write 10 factorial as 10 into 9 factorial. We can write this as a 10 into 9 factorial, or else 3 factorial can be written as 3 into 2 factorial. 3 into 2 factorial. Similarly, n plus 2 factorial can be written as n plus 2 into n plus 1 factorial into n plus 1 factorial plus n plus 1 factorial divided by again n plus 2 factorial can be written as n plus 2 into n plus 1 factorial, n plus 2 into n plus 1 factorial, then minus n plus 1 factorial as it is. Now we have n plus 1 factorial common in the numerator as well as in the denominator. After taking the common, both get cancels. So now I'll write the remaining term. Limit n tends to infinity. So write the remaining term. After taking the common, we get n plus 2, then plus 1 here, divided by n plus 2, then minus 1 here. So now limit n tends to infinity, n plus 3 divided by n plus 1. Now it is n tends to infinity. That means we should have n term in the denominator. I will be taking n common in the numerator as well as in the denominator. This is equals to limit n tends to infinity. So n common, we get 1 plus 3 by n plus again n common in the denominator. So 1 plus 1 by n. These two get cancels. Now apply the limit now. 1 plus 3 by infinity, it will be 0. So 1 plus 0 divided by 1 plus 0. Overall the answer is 1. Check the options now. Option 1 is the correct answer. Option 1 is the correct answer. Note down this, then we'll take up the next question. Well, question number 10, it is limit x tends to infinity, 3 mod x plus 2x divided by 4 mod x minus x, which is equals to, write the four options now. Option 1, it will be 5 by 3, option 2 it will be 3 by 5, option 3 it is minus 5 by 3, then option 4 it will be minus 3 by 5. So now we have the definition for mod x. Mod x will be plus x if x greater than or equal to 0, mod x will be minus x if x less than 0. So now x tends to infinity means x is a positive number, that means mod x must be plus x now. So this is equals to limit x tends to infinity, x is approaching infinity means mod x must be plus x now, 3x plus 2x divided by 4x minus x. So this is equals to limit x tends to infinity, 3x plus 2x will be 5x, 4x minus x will be 3x, x and x get cancelled. So limit of a constant, it will be constant. The answer is 5/3. Option 1 is the correct answer. Option 1 is the correct answer. Note down this, then we'll take up the next question, that is question number 11. Question number 11, limit x tends to minus infinity, limit x tends to minus infinity, 2 mod x plus x divided by 5 mod x minus 3x. This is equals to, and the 4 options are, option 1 it is 3/2, option 2 it is 3/10, then option 3 it is 1/8, option 4 it is does not exist, doesn't exist. So let us solve this. Now again we have the modulus of the x now, mod x now. So observe the limit x tends to minus infinity, x tends to minus infinity means x is negative here, x less than 0, that means mod x must be replaced by minus x. So here you can write, since x is negative, so we can rewrite this as limit x tends to minus infinity, limit x tends to minus infinity, 2 or minus 2x plus x divided by, so minus 5x minus 3x. I am replacing x mod x by minus x. So this is equals to limit x tends to minus infinity. So minus 2x plus x will be minus x divided by minus 8x. Minus x and minus x get cancelled, 1/8. Limit of a constant, it is a constant. The answer is 1/8. Check the options now. Option 3 is the correct answer. So this is all about question number 11. Note down this, then I will take up the next question. Question number 12. Well, question number 12 it is, limit x tends to infinity, greatest integer x by x. This is equals to, so option 1 it is 0, option 2 it is 1, option 3 it is 2, option 4 it is 3. So here we have the greatest integer x in the numerator, that square bracket indicates greatest integer x. So to solve this, we have the standard property which has been given in the synopsis, later you go through that. We know that greatest integer x is greater than x minus 1 and less than or equal to x. So this is a property regarding the greatest integer x. Greatest integer x greater than x minus 1, less than or equal to x. Now I will be dividing each term by x in the next step. X minus 1 by x less than greatest integer x by x, then less than or equal to x by x. So now Now here split this into two terms. X by x it will be 1 minus 1 by x less than greatest integer x by x less than or equal to 1. X and x get cancelled, we get 1 here. Now apply limit for every term. So limit x tends to infinity, limit x tends to infinity, 1 minus 1 by x, 1 minus 1 by x, then less than limit x tends to infinity, greatest integer x by x, then less than or equal to limit x tends to infinity 1. So now apply the limit here. So 1 remains as it is, then minus x tends to infinity now. 1 by infinity it will be 0. So 1 minus 0 less than limit x tends to infinity. So greatest integer x by x. So here limit of a constant, it is a constant, that is 1. So here 1 minus 0, this will also be 1. So overall, what did you observe from this? So here limit x tends to infinity, greatest integer x by x is sandwiched between 1. It is sandwiched between 1. Hence the answer is 1. Therefore option 2 is the correct answer. So this is all about question number 12. Note down this, then we'll take up the remaining questions in the next class. Thank you.